Girl, why y'all ain't tell me the Chi came on? I'm over here thinking this is 4th of July weekend and ain't nothing coming on. Anyway, let's get into it. Cue the music. Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or fuck discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just the boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video. We're here to discuss The Chi, Season 5, Episode 2. I apologize, y'all. I really forgot that The Chi wasn't... I thought because it was 4th of July, I'm going to keep it real. I thought that all these shows wasn't going to come on. But I guess the network said to hell with the 4th of July. They put them on anyway. So I just watched it this morning and I'm giving y'all a video. So let's just get into the episode. So the episode opens up where we left off last week. Douda and Q is in there talking to Tracy. And basically, Q don't like the fact that since he left and come back, ain't no police and all that stuff. And he's just like, girl, like, no. Like, the police works for the gangs. Like, why would you get rid of the police? She's still hung up on the fact that she wants to defund the police due to the stuff that happened with her son, which is his son as well. But Q is not here for that. Q was like, I'm here to get everything back to where it was. So that's what we're going to do. That's where we're going to stay. She was like, you can't talk to me like that. Like, what are you saying? Like, I'm not your child. And she goes, well, I'm not here for it. I don't want to do it. And she says, what happened if I don't? Well, we find out that Q has been funding the Doggone Rock program. See, she didn't know that Douda had Q as his silent investor in that program. So now her hands are tied. She's got to sit there and let Q talk his shit and do what he want to do. Like he told her, now I'm your boss. You got to come through me. So get yourself together. Now, Douda kind of jumped in and was trying to bring some order to it and basically was telling her, look, I know you don't want to do X, Y, and Z. I know how you feel about the police and all that stuff. But I'm back. I'm going to make sure a lot of things are taken care of. I just need you to really trust us. But she ain't here for it. We move to the next scene. Emmett is down there with all his kids. He done got all his baby mamas to drop off all his kids. So he's down there with all his kids, child. And it was so funny because he told the little boy to eat. And the little boy said, you can't tell me what to do. And he said, yes, I can. I'm your daddy. And the little boy said, you my daddy on the weekends. He said, who told you that? He said, my mama. You know, women, we be talking around them children be knowing it. And he was like, but you can't hit me. And he was like, boy, I'll beat your ass. Eat this damn food. So he ended up getting in the bed and reading them a bedtime story. But he was reading them a happily ever after type of tale. But he let his kids know, even though they were asleep, that shit ain't real, child. That's all in the books. We move to the next scene. Q says the gangs have always run the city. We back to this conversation. We already talked about that. And he says the police and politicians are basically pawns for the game. Basically, he's just trying to go back old school. He don't like to defund the police thing. And honestly, with the rate of crime over there in the Chicago streets, y'all be the last ones to say defund the police. Child, please. Defund my ass. Y'all need the police. Hell, we need them everywhere, but y'all definitely need the police over there. We move to the next scene. So, DeRay Davis is playing this character. He goes live. I don't know what his character's name is, and I should have researched that, but he goes live, and he's basically this whole celibate, you know, sort of like a, you know how these podcasters are today where they all hate women, yet they keep women, like, names in their mouths and talk about women all the time, but they hate them so much. He's kind of like a mix of that and kind of like a divestment or a sort of celibate type of guy. So he's going live, and listen, Emmett is here for it. Because he's like, yeah, my woman left me, da-da-da-da-da. But when he started talking crazy about the women, Emmett said, man, you tripping. Nah, you tripping. So he's in the cooking breakfast for the kids. And Tiff comes in, and she says she coming to get the baby early. And Emmett was like, well, you should have let me know. I had some stuff planned or whatever. But he basically wants her back. He wants her to come back. He was like, you came back to be with me, right? And she was like, no, I basically came back to get my child. So she was like, you look like you're struggling. And he was trying to cook and make sure all these kids had all this stuff going on. So he told her, well, damn, help me then, wipe a nose or something. So she's helping him, you know, feed the kids or whatever the case may be. So then Tiff's response is, listen, that's what you get, you know, for all the shit you've been doing. This is the result of it. And she was like, boy, look, I'm not tripping. You probably gonna find a new woman and fall in love with her and introduce her to your mama like you did me. So she already knew his track record. But Emmett was like, no, actually, I'm trying to go celibate. She don't believe him. And he was like, see, that's the problem. That's why we get divorced. You don't believe in me. And I'm like, Emmett, please. Either way, she lets him know that he needs to pick up her son at 4 o'clock. Because she told him that she's staying with a friend. He don't like that. But it is what it is. And she was like, listen, you need to go get our son from school at 4 o'clock. I got some things to do. I ain't going to be there. So he was like, okay. When she told him about the friend that she's living with, he was like, I don't really care to have no random niggas around my son. Like, I really don't care for that. Like, and don't have him go and pick him up or none of that. And she was like, boy, please, just be there to pick up your son. We moved to the next scene. Jake didn't pick up Gemma. So basically, they all sitting in the car getting ready to go into school. And I want to say it was Leanna. Is that how you say her name? Lene. I think it was Lene was like, or somebody asked Jake, where's Gemma? And he was like, I don't know. I ain't really been hearing from her. Because, you know, Gemma is giving him the silent treatment till he learned how to treat her as she should. But basically, Maisha was like, yeah, because niggas ain't shit. Like, that girl ain't talking to you because niggas ain't shit. Papa is still in his self-righteous mode talking about, now, if I say that about a woman, I would get attacked. Absolutely, Papa. Mind your manners. You're going to learn that when you get older, too. Mind your manners. But anyway, he's freaking out because the dude in front of him still showing him the videos of him going viral in there cussing out Jake. He doesn't like that. He was like, I apologize. Like, damn, like, what else do they want from me? And all this stuff. And it was like, maybe you should apologize again. Like, basically, that's what it is. So they get into the school. Kevin and Lene gets pulled over through the metal detector because they have laptops so they can do games. Let me just say this, now that we on this. Y'all ever notice that in black schools, in black cities, they have metal detectors, yet no school shootings? But on the flip side, in the white communities or in the higher end communities, they don't have metal detectors, and there's always school shootings. Things that make you go, right? It just dawned on me when I was watching it. But they get in there, and the security guard was like, I'm reporting y'all asses to the principal. Y'all know y'all not supposed to have this. Kevin kind of gets smart or whatever. He was like, now you're going to get in-school suspension, like, or detention, whatever it is. Like, just go run to the office. So now Kevin is in trouble. He really is stuck on this game and stuff. But I think it's going to be good if he can turn it into a program or a profit or something like that. We move to the next scene. Rashad is over there ragging on Trig, talking about, dang, I done heard her being left at the altar, but she left your ass at the proposal. Trig is like, man, leave me alone, man. Y'all bothering me or whatever, man. Like, it is what it is. Leave me alone. Get out of my face. But then Tracy walks up and asks if he was okay. He was like, yeah, I'm good. Why everybody keep asking me that? And he was like, because you around here moping like Snuffleupagus. That's why we asking. Like, what is you saying? So she brings up the fact that she read in the paper that the city wants Trig to run for city council. They believe in him and they nominate him and they basically refer or prefer him to be a person who runs. Now, he can't believe that because he's just like, me? He's like, me? Like, Trig? Like, what? Like, I can't run for city council. And they were like, yes, you can. And he goes, how can I run for city council? Like, why would they think that I'm even fit for that type of job? But basically, Tracy and Rashad is basically talking him up, saying, listen, if the people believe in you, they obviously see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And like Rashad said, you got to be bigger than the rock program and playing police on the street and delivering food, bro. You got to expand, you know? But then Trig is now thinking about his record. He was like, well, I'm a felon. I can't run anyway. And look at Rashad. I hate America. Like, this dude's stupid. But Tracy said she knows some people in some places and she gonna make some calls. Immediately, I knew she was going down there to Duda and ex Duda. I already knew it. But anyway, so this has Trig really thinking and considering, like, dang, am I good enough to do this? And he's reading the comments of what the people are saying about him, and it's kind of getting his wheels turning. I think he should run, and it'll help him turn around his life as he should. So we move to the next scene. Jake texts Jenna and asks if she want him to pull up. Now, he's in school. And Jenna was like, nah, I'm good, love. Enjoy it. And he's like, what? And as soon as that happens, the principal or the loudspeaker comes on and asks him to come to the office. He gets down there to the office, and guess who it is? His mama. His mama said she clean, and she came down there to the office and get to bring him out of there. So Jake was like, first of all, I haven't seen you in forever. And then secondly, do Trig even know you here? And she was like, I don't have to go through Trig. Like, you're my child. Like, I'm on the paperwork. And he was like, yeah, he only put you on the paperwork because in case you came, but we already knew you wasn't never gonna come. Well, she's there now. And the lady in the office said, well, she got you on the paper, she could take you home. So now Jake has to leave and go with his mama. Fine. Tim gets back to the house, and where Rob is. Iman, I gotta stop calling his real name. But where Rob is, and Rob was like, did you talk to Emmett? And she was like, yeah, I talked to him and basically told him it is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. Like, you gotta deal with it. And so Rob was like, I feel him on that if he's like real possessive, because she says he's super possessive over her and stuff like that. He was like, I would be too. And she was like, ew, like you would be possessive? And he was just like, yeah, I don't, need to be having all that type of stuff going on. I would understand him. So now that brings them to the topic of her bringing up the fact that he don't like that they live together. And he was like, he get it, but once he sit down and have a conversation with him, everything will be fine. Emmett ain't going for that. Emmett is ignorant. Emmett is not going for that. So Rob is saying, I'm the same as Emmett. So I understand where he's coming from. He's really not into a variety. He's a one-woman man. Like, he wants to be with one person and make one person happy. But see, she wants her freedom. She's just like, ew, one. Like, you don't like the open thing? No, he's not here for a fad. He don't like that. We move to the next scene. Kevin and Lene are in the office trying to plead their case on why they shouldn't get suspended for bringing the laptops to school. And the principal was like, I'm not trying to hear that. She was like, y'all in here gaming, like, that's not cool. And they was like, listen, we are actually trying to do something positive. And in comes this other teacher. I guess that's the teacher that they have. And then he basically kind of interferes and was like, it's funny that when white kids game, they call it gaming. And when black kids game, they get shamed for it. And so now the principal was like, I'm not here for that critical race theory crap for you today. So he is like, no, you need to honestly give it a thought. So the principal was like, are you going to fund a program for them? Hesitantly, he said yes, he would. So now, basically, Lene and Kevin are heads of programs. He said he'll fund it as long as they run it and they keep at least 5 members in it. See how you can turn lemons into lemonade? I'm with it. We move to the next scene. They in there, Rashad and Trig, they still down there at the precinct or whatever they call it. And Rashad sees this woman. So Rashad was just like, oh, she fine as hell. That's the woman right here. And so, Trig was like, I thought we was finding me a woman. He was like, we is, but this one, I need to see her. Like, it was kind of like a love at first sight thing, prison edition. So he runs up to this lady and try to woo her and ask her what's her name. And she ain't really trying to give him a name. But then he goes over and sing. And he was like, excuse me, miss, what's your name? Where are you from? And can I come? And if anybody know anything about Jason Weaver, the man behind the Rashad character, he has sang Lion King. I want to be a mighty king, so enemies beware. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He one of them. Stop acting crazy. He could sing. He could sing. Jason Weaver could sing. Oh, I used to love me some Jason Weaver. I still do. Jason, if you ever see this, and I know you probably won't, call me. Anyway, so yeah, he's singing, wooing her, and the whole place just applaud. Because it's like, we know you can sing. He was like, I do a little razzle-dazzle and whatnot. So now the girl is super, smitten by this. She was just like, oh my God, he sung to me. And he was like, you never gave me your name. And she was like, I never threw it. But then he starts talking about, I had to listen to Luther, and she asked him when did the song come out, and he was like, August of 2001, or whatever the case may be. She's impressed by him knowing the dates, but what kind of went sour for her was when he said he had to listen to Luther in prison to get him through. And she was just like, ugh, prison. I ain't gonna lie, that would have been a wrap for me too. I ain't dating nobody from prison, I'm sorry. Ain't doing it. But he kind of woos her back in because she was trying to walk off. He went up behind her and was like, look, man, I know I gave you a lot at one time, but I really, truly want to get to know you. I so want to get to know you. And she saw the genuineness in him, so she ended up giving her the number and giving her his name, girl. So now you got you a date. Go ahead on. We move to the next scene. Tracy, Nina, Dre, and Jada are sitting down talking, girl, spilling tea. And basically, Jada spills the tea that her and Darnell kissed. They like Darnell. And she was like, yeah, I was over there. He was over here fixing some stuff. And we was talking. And next thing you know, we just kissed. And I want to say Nina was like, oh, it's like when y'all was back in high school. Dre don't like that. Dre was like, no, y'all were horrible in high school. Jada is like, I'm sorry, I don't want to trigger you. And I still don't really get that part. But either way, they're over there trying to talk to her about why she made her kiss Darnell. And Nina was like, maybe you just bored, you know, or maybe you haven't been in a relationship and, you know, now it's something new, it's something fresh. Tracy was like, no, maybe you really still in love with him. Dre jumps in and was like, no, you're not in love with him. You don't want to be in love with him. You got a good man with Sway. He around there watering your plants. He treats you good. He's sexing you good. Like, why do you need to even be dealing with some doggone Darnell, who's going to doggone basically come back in your life and do what he always done, which is hurt you. And Jada couldn't do nothing but agree because she was like, he does everything that I want him to do. So then therein lies the question, why are you entertaining doggone Darnell? Girl, don't entertain it. I don't want them to get back together. I really don't. I just don't. We move to the next scene. Tiff is talking to Keisha about Rob. She was telling Keisha that Rob want to be monogamous and all that stuff, and she ain't really feeling that. Girl, Keisha was just sitting there like, girl, look. So Keisha asked, is she really over Emmett? And without hesitation, Tiff was like, yeah, I'm done with him. That's old news. That's last year. I'm over it. I'm good. So she's not like, yeah, Rob might actually be my little Russell Wilson, you know, the person that I need to be dealing with and dibbling and dabbling with. But then she starts to tell Keisha that she's happy she moved out and she's gotten a place up, you know, on campus and all that stuff in the dorm. She's proud of her. And Keisha was like, girl, I'm going to college for us, for me and you. Because basically, Tiff said she never got an opportunity to go to college because she got pregnant. Niggas. We move to the next scene. Jake and his mom is out to eat. They having a conversation. And he's trying to see how serious she is about coming back in his life. So he was like, are you really clean? And how long have you been clean? And she's just like, look, I know I've come and gone in the past. I know that. But I really want y'all to know that I'm here to stay. I'm not on no BS. But we've seen this from you. We've seen this, Miss P. You say that and then you go back to the streets. I don't know. But she's reminiscing about how she used to come to Smokey's when she was pregnant with him and all that stuff. But she lets him know that she wants to talk to Trigg. You're going to have to talk to Trigg. So I guess they head over there. We move to the next scene. They're in class, all the kids, and the teacher are talking about NFTs. And he said for Christmas, he wanted everybody to gift for Secret Santa NFTs. He asked what the meaning of or the definition of it was, and Maisha and Lene gave their definition of it. And Kevin is like, man, I got to get my NFT game up. Papa was like, shit, I already got trades with this, that, and the third. And Kevin was like, what? Either way, the teacher congratulates the girl. I want to say her name is Nicole because she sold her first NFT. So this makes Kevin be like, oh, shoot, that's the girl I danced with. Because somebody was like, why are you staring at her like that? He was like, I danced with her at a dance. So he catches her after class and he was like, you remember me? You know, I'm Kevin. She was like, yeah, I know. We in the same class. But he was like, yeah, we danced at a dance before. And she was like, yeah, I remember you. But it shocks him because he thinking she's just a pretty girl, but she's really into the galaxy and the stars and stuff. Asking him if he believed that there's life outside of this galaxy. And he's like, what the hell? But he liked her though. So then he was like, sure? Yeah. And she's like, you want to look at the stars one night? And he was like, look at the stars. Oh, yeah, sure. So she ends up giving him the number, and he's still sitting there dumbfounded because he can't believe this girl is into stuff like stars and galaxies. We move to the next scene. Trigg asks Rashad where he's going to take the girl out. Rashad said, I ain't got no money. I'm cooking. He was like, I'm going to make me some good pasta, them cheddar biscuits that I'm famous for, and I'm going to keep it moving. Like, that should be good. And I like that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty hesitant of going on dates, to people's houses the first time, but I get it, you know? Trigg is basically saying, look, if she don't like them cheddar biscuits, she ain't the one, bro. Because apparently his cheddar biscuits is off the chain. Now, as this happens, the mama shows up. Trigg ain't here for it. Trigg was like, what are you doing here? And she wants to let him know that she's back and she need a place to stay. Trigg was like, for how long? Jake jumps in and was just like, she could stay. Like, why can't she? Hell, even Rashad jumps in and was like, she could stay. And he told Rashad, you don't even live there. This is my crib. So he takes Jake away. He has Rashad take Jake away. And he's basically talking to his mom, was like, look, how long you gonna try to be here? Look, because I don't need you in and out and all this stuff. She's trying to proclaim that she's gonna be clean, but I don't know, and I think Trigg doesn't know either. But he said she could stay, but it could take her 6 months to a year to clean herself up and get a job and get on her feet. But he just not sure about it. We move to the next scene. Emmett is at work and he forgot to go pick up his son. He rushes out the door to go pick up his son, and lo and behold, the lady was like, "Oh, you his daddy?" And he was like, "Yeah, why?" She was like, "Oh, another man come pick up your son. His name Rob, whatever." And he was like, "What?" So he was like, "Who the? Like, he came picked up my son." So he called Tiff and was like, "Heifer, you got some other man picking up my son?" She said, "I told you to be at 4. You wasn't at 4, so I had to do what I had to do. Like, get over it." He's trying to cuss her out. She hung up and was like, she ain't got time. But Keisha was like, be easy on him a little bit. She was like, "Girl, we ain't got time. We about to go out." So they end up going out to a club having a good time. We move to the next scene. Jada and Suede is making out, and she decides to come clean and tell her she kissed Darnell. Why would you do that? You know, I mean, either way, Suede was like, "Do you love him? Like, do you love me? Like, are you willing to fight for us? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, what is going on?" She's ensuring him that she don't want to deal with Darnell like that. She just wanted to come clean. He wants to fight for them. I don't like the age gap because I feel like them young boys be looking for another mama. But he does come off super, super sincere. He really does. He really does. And I like that about him. I think that she should consider, because he does help her out a lot, not to mention, but he comes off super, super sincere. We move to the next scene. Jake is over there by Jimba telling her he done effed up. He fucked up, man. My bad. She was like, "Well, what you fucked up for? Elaborate." And he says, "I was going through a lot of things and I was snappy and I shouldn't have snapped at you and I apologize and whoop-de-whoop." And she was like, "Well, I accept it, but you got to know you can't treat me like that no more." And he's okay with that. She goes, "I heard about Imani leaving." He was like, "Shit, it don't bother me. It wasn't my girl." She was like, "But that still was a part of your family. Like, people walk out of your life. That's a big deal." So then she goes, "Well, I heard your mom came back." He was like, "Well, damn, who told you that, Papa?" No, Papa didn't tell her. She said Kevin actually told her. But she's hearing about everything that's going on, so she's still tapped in. But he ended up singing a little Method Man, "You're wrong, Annie," because he loved his girl. And I'm glad that she's kept checking up on him, but that's still that boyfriend. I don't know. That's just a little bit much for me. So then Rashad busts through the door, right? And he was just like, "Man, all that kissing and all that stuff, come on in this kitchen." They end up having dinner with Mama. It's Mama, Trig, Rashad. Jimma meets the Mama. The Mama was like, "You're gorgeous. It's nice to meet you." They sit down. They pray over the food. They have a nice dinner. I thought that was nice. We move to the next scene. Duda is doing an interview, and the interviewer asked him why he done left, just up and left the people. The people said you disappointed them. And Duda was like, "Girl, look, I had to go clear my head. I have a mental thing going on. I have a therapist. I'm trying to get my head space together, and I'm man enough to tell everybody out there that I have a therapist. But just know I'm back." That's all y'all need to know. You don't need to know nothing else about it. But we move to the next scene. Tracy basically says she saw his interview and he full of shit. So Tracy was like, "Yeah, I saw your little interview and you're full of shit." He says he's a changed man. Now this is where, because he was like, "What do you want?" And she was like, "I need you to help clear Trig's record." And he was like, "For what?" She was like, "He wants to run for city council and I think he should. A lot of people want him to do it." Duda's response is basically, Trig is going to need to be prepped when he make his announcement and say he's running. Like, he can't just jump out the window head first. Tracy responds and was just like, "Listen, y'all got to repair whatever relationship or whatever trust y'all had." He was like, "We ain't trying to do all that. He just got to know that I'm going to help him out and I'm the one in charge, so he got to listen to me." That's going to be an uphill battle. So he was just like, "I mean, I could do it, but I got to call in some favors. Favors, I got to call those in, that means you're going to owe me." And she was like, "First of all, I thought you had all that packed down yourself, but if I got to owe you, I got you. And so that what that means. I'm getting some little puss to get his little record expunged and whatnot." So he said he gonna make the calls or whatever. And she was like, "Nah, I'm in charge. Take off your clothes." He love that. He love that. Go ahead on. We move to the next scene. Trig is over there talking to Jimma's dad. So Trig was like, "Man, this dude back. Like, how the hell he get back? I thought I told him to leave. I had the tape and all that stuff. Like, I just hate that Duda is back." So Jimma's dad was like, "Man, cool, it's cool. Let him stay. Like, we got the tape. We could keep it in case we need it in the future. Like, let him stay. It's fine. You actually need him to stay because you need him on this campaign trail I heard about." So he was like, "Yeah, I heard you was running, but I feel like you do need to clear your record." Trig was like, "I know, but basically, Tracy knows somebody, she's gonna get it taken care of. The same dude you don't want back is the one who's gonna clear your record, boy. It's crazy. But he also says he's gonna need to change his name, and he said he is gonna change it. Now his name is, he don't want to be known as Trig no more. He's got to be called Victor. Good start. We move to the next scene. Tiffany is over there talking to Rob, and basically Rob asked her, "What are we? Like, what are we doing here?" And she was like, "What you mean we live together?" And he was like, "No, you know, I'm a one-woman man, and I really like you, and we've been kicking it. You know, I'm over here kicking it with your son and all that stuff. Like, I really want to see where this goes." She's not here for it. She's not here for it. And my thing with you, Tiff, is I know you young, and see, it's a lot of young girls. Y'all always run across that man that's gonna get away, and you're gonna wait till later, and you should have gave him a try. He's trying to do something monogamous and really have a family and take care of you, girl. And he a tall, black, dark-skinned, almost ugly dude. That's my favorite. Ooh, I love them type of men. Ooh, Lord, that's my kind. That's my type. If you big in dark skin and you got like a gorilla like esque about you, you don't gotta look like one. That's not what I'm saying. But even if you do, that's fine. It just gives me man. You know what I'm saying? Girl, you better settle down with that man. Settle down. But she not trying to hear, because she out there wanting to hoe around. But he basically says, look, I ain't gonna force nothing up on you. She was like, you really believe in that monogamy stuff? He said, yeah, but I'm not forcing it on you either. Make your decision, and you come back and you let me know. So he gets up and leaves. He was like, I'm not about to do all that. We move to the next scene. Emmett is over there bowling with Swade, with his stepdaddy, even though they went to school together. So Swade is cold. Swade got his own ball and everything. So Emmett was like, man, you out here with your own ball. You really take this shit serious. And Swade was like, yeah, what you saying? Like, I do. So now Swade wants to ask Emmett what he thinks about him with his mama. He was like, you know, I really love your mama. Emmett was like, man, I'm not trying to hear all that, bro. I'm not. So then Swade was like, okay, I get it. But do you think your mama is happy? And Emmett was like, to be honest, this is the happiest she's ever looked and ever been my whole life. So yeah, in that sense, she is happy. And I'm glad that, you know, you making her happy. He was like, but you got to know, the moment she decides that she don't want you in her presence no more, you're going to have to respect that. So then Swade turns around and was like, so how you feel about your girl living with another dude with your baby? And Emmett was like, damn, how you know about that? And he was like, oh, somebody mama told somebody who told me. And Emmett was like, man, I don't like that shit, man. That shit cold. Like, I hate that she moved in, you know, with another dude. And he was like, you know, it's okay to move on, bro. Moving on is healthy. And Emmett was like, you know what? You really is a supportive dude. I see why my mama like you. Girl, Emmett is a mess. We move to the next scene. Darnell FaceTime Jada, trying to see what's going on with her. And she was like, Darnell, what do you want? And he was like, look, I'm just calling to check on your fat. I got to check on my first love. And then he asked her, he was like, did you tell Swade about our kiss? And she was like, yeah, I told him, and he's still here. He was like, oh yeah, he one of them. Yeah, he one of them that ain't going nowhere. And he was like, girl, you need to put that appetizer down and come get this full course meal. Jada ain't trying to mess with you. She shouldn't. I hope she's not. But she was like, actually, he's out there bonding with our son, you know, something that you haven't done in all the years. And he was like, man, look, I'm changed. You know, I feel like we have a chance. And she hollers, all you're going to do is hurt me like you've always done in the past. And he was like, that must be that dude talking. She was like, no, it's me. I see the pattern, and I don't want to be dealing with that. So basically, she was like, let me get off this phone. I got to go, like, whatever. Before she hangs up, he was like, let me pan down that camera. Let me see what you got on. She gets off the phone with him, as you should. We move to the next scene. Tracy tell Trig that Duda got his record erased. So Trig comes in. Lord, this was a crazy scene. And this is how true politics really are. So Trig comes in and he sees that Duda is standing there. And he was like, the fuck? So she was like, yeah, he actually is the one who got your record expunged. He was like, if I knew it was coming from him, I wouldn't even wanted it. You know, like, I'm good. And Duda was like, listen, bro, I get it. Whatever we got going on, we got to let that shit ride. Like, I'm trying to help you get to where you need to go. Duda was like, I'm the person that's going to help you. And Trig was like, you need to watch how you talking to me. Like, I'm not your child. Trig was like, and plus it's Victor now. He was like, so don't call me Trig, it's Victor now. So he was like, that's good, you making progress. So he said, you not married, so how you going to tell me how to be a doggone politician or whatever? You not even good at what you doing. Basically, Duda was like, bro, I was built for this shit. I'm one of one. Like, I am that nigga when it comes down to this politics shit. Like, I make moves. Like, I left and came back and they still eating out the palm of my hands. Stop acting crazy. I am that dude. I'm the one. He was like, now you can sit up here and act crazy if you want, but you're not going to win without me. So you need to get on the trail, get on my trail, run under my ticket or whatever, and then we can get you up there for sure. So now, Trig/Victor ain't really here for it. But then he tells Duda tells him, listen, you're also gonna have to clean up your image. I know you say you're gonna buy Victor, not fine, but you're gonna have to get you a woman. And he was like, Imani not coming back. He was like, I really preferred a Christian woman. He was like, so I have one. So he called this girl out the back who's actually one of his little yays, one of his little dibble dabbles. And this girl is programmed. She was like, listen, all we gotta do is make for appearances. I'm gonna, look like the model citizen, give you hugs and kisses in public. We can really do big things with this. Trig is not here for that crazy ass shit. Trig was like, hell no. And she was like, come on now. And Tracy's trying to talk him into it and was like, Trig, you really need to give it some thought, bro. Like, this is the only way you're gonna get in those seats. And you gotta make these changes from within. So you need to jump on board. The girl pull out NDAs for Trig to sign. Trig ain't won't hear none of it. He ain't won't have none of it. Trig was like, what happens if I don't do this? And Tracy says, if you don't do this, everything goes. Rock and everything. And he was like, how? That's independently fun. But she's like, no, it's actually funded by Duda. Duda's the one funding it. So if you leave, everything goes to shit. This has him in a disarray. He hates that he has to now depend on Duda. But it is what it is. Trig was like, man, I don't even think I want to do this no more, and walks out. Tracy goes try to run behind him, but Duda was like, let him go. We move to the next scene. Nina and Dre is at home getting ready. I'm thinking they're going out, but they actually doing a Zoom therapy session. I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. We move to the next scene. Rashad done cooked. So the girl arrives. He's got I ain't gonna lie, that food looked good. Rashad, you can cook. Rashad cooks and the girl's looking around like this a house. At first I thought she didn't like it, or maybe she thought it was a sketch or whatever, but she's looking around or whatever. And he lets her know that he cooked and he got some Moscato. And she was like, I really don't drink Moscato. But she sits down and she's like, this is really nice. Like, I've never had a man cook for me. And he was like, oh, for real? Girl, I can cook for you. Come on, have a drink of this little Moscato. And she was like, I really don't drink Moscato. And thank God I don't drink it either. And he was like, well, shit, what you drink? And she was like, honestly, you ain't never been to a wine tasting. And he goes, a wine tasting? What they do around there? She was like, basically taste wine and spit it out. He was like, why the hell would you spit out good wine? So they have a good laugh. And he was like, you laughing at me, girl? And she was just like, yeah, I'm laughing. I'm not really laughing. You make me smile. And he was like, well, that's good. But he said, you're going to drink this $8.99 Moscato. So they end up pouring up for that. I love that. Did Rashad get him a girl? Go ahead on, Rashad. We moved to the next scene. Maisha go see Papa and was like, boy, where was you at? I ain't seen you in fifth period. Papa still is in the rough because people still going in on him. He was like, man, I put an apology out there. They going in on each other on the apology. Like, people really is crazy. And Maisha was like, you know how people are. You can't let these people get to you. That's just what it is, how people do and how they rock. So she was like, you got to get over it. Papa decides to get up and go live and make another statement about it. And basically he apologizes straight to Jake this time. And was like, bro, you the brother I never wanted, but now you're like the brother that I can't live without. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said about you. Even though you were a little sketchy, you took our other homeboy girl. But, and Maisha was like, boy, he's like, my bad. But, I apologize. I love you, bro. I ain't mean nothing by it. And I shouldn't have said what I said. I was like, go ahead on Papa being a big stand-up guy. Papa got a blue check too. He a celebrity. That's what he said. It's hard when the celebrities got to apologize in front of the doggone folks. We move to the next scene, or the last scene. Emmett finally makes it home, and he's back on live with D-Ray Davis's character. And he's talking about, is you ready to go celibate and take care of yourself? You could do it now. Emmett said he's ready to do it. Emmett is going celibate. Girl, we don't believe that because Emmett is a sucker for the nook, and we all know that. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode of The Chi. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you hoes later. Bye.